Tim, if you can, tell us how you got your start in the oil and gas industry.
Yeah, great. It really goes back to when I was a younger child. I started racing remote controlled cars. A little atypical, but it was then I realized I liked the thrill of competition was just as fun as taking it apart and figuring out how an electric motor works. So I kind of really, later in life, realized I was kind of a how it works or how does something work type of mentality. That later led to me getting a degree in mechanical engineering. So I've always kind of been wondering how things work, how to understand them. But also understanding how complex things can be described through pretty simple processes. So as I got through engineering school, I was actually drawn to the energy industry broadly. I went to school in Vermont, which is known, not exactly for oil and gas, but there I did projects that range from, I actually bought some solar panels as someone who kind of wanted to learn it myself. I interned at a wind turbine engineering firm, and I did a senior project actually on hydrogen energy. So I'm probably one of the few people that started in renewables and actually went into the oil patch. But after graduating, I liked the industry, broadly in the energy industry. And actually I moved to New York and kind of used my technical background to join an energy investment banking firm. And really the rest is history from there.
That's pretty interesting there. So as far as once you were professionally working, talk to us a little bit about the path that you took to get to really where you are today.
Yeah, so I kind of did the typical New York thing, like I said, working for an energy investment banking firm. And in there, we were sector focused, but we'd actually do a lot of shipping, a lot of offshore, as well as some E&P clients there. So got to know oil and gas kind of across the supply chain pretty well there. And then in 2015, I moved out to Colorado with my wife, where she's from. And moving to Colorado, that's where I decided to point my career to. I joined an E&P. So since I've worked for an E&P, I went to a mineral firm, and now I've gone to a technology firm, all in the oil space.
Wow. Well, with that in mind, what advice do you have for younger professionals who are trying to find their way in the industry? I
think the biggest thing, it sounds kind of dumb, but it's keep your ears open and listen. I've sat, in my times, when we're in offices, just listen to what's going on. You'll be amazed what you can hear. You'll pick up little tidbits of information that you'll overhear, water cooler chat.
Yeah.
And that it can be super valuable. And in your careers, having information is kind of key. That's a cliche, but trust me, it'll come up in a meeting or something. And if you know more than the person next to you, you're just that much kind of further ahead. So always listen, and separately, another cliche, but always be learning. This industry is fascinating because there's so much technology. It's changing. What worked 10 years ago does not work today. So if you're always learning about the industry broadly, whether it's a different vertical or a new technology, that's going to really help you just be able to be that much more valuable to your company, and that really translates to being successful in your career.
Well, do you have advice for younger professionals, or really not just younger professionals, but advice for people trying to maintain a work-life balance? Things are different now as well in 2020. What advice do you have there?
Yeah. I think really as you learn, and the further you go in your career, the more demands you have in your time. It's across industries, but especially as you get up kind of towards the top of a company, you really need to be able to prioritize your time management. That might sound kind of vanilla, but it's simple things like what emails do you need to answer immediately, and what can you park for later, as well as similarly on projects, like what do you need to deliver to your boss immediately versus what can you do, a little bit later. And it kind of goes to quality too, of knowing, kind of how deep to run a project. So I think if you really are managing your time, you can kind of figure out what to do in office hours and what may or may not you want to do, in kind of off hours. And I think trying to find that so you can kind of bucket parts of your life, and then also you've got to work with your spouse or your other to find that balance. Yep.
And Tim, really in this unique position you're in with your company, can you tell us anything about what you want us to know about the company, in starting up, and especially in, as we move past 2020?
Yeah, real interesting time in the industry. So there's 4 partners of us at DynacloudIO, and we decided to really jumpstart the company in the middle of a pandemic. But as tough as that's been, it's the perfect time in the industry where DynacLoud, we have a technology that helps operators really use the internet to, improve their operations. It's called an IoT device that can help operators. It'll save on LOE, help them with G&A, and make their field staff more efficient. So we actually feel DynacLoud's very much a solution to some of the challenges that are broadly facing the industry. So we're receiving great reception, and we're just putting our foot on the gas and just trying to build a company despite a few setbacks in the broader market.
Well, that's great to hear. We wish you all the best, and congratulations on this honor as well.
Thank you. I was glad to be here.
You're
Appreciate
very
it.
welcome.
Great.